Legs Media. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. We got lots of stuff coming up. What's up? My name is Dennis Luby. This is Say It With Your Legs Media. I'm super excited. I've been it's almost like I've been in a race with this person because he's been off the front and I just never was able to close the gap. We finally closed the gap. We've caught up. I'm going to let him introduce himself. So joining me today is...
I'm Red Walters. Thanks for having me on. We finally made it happen. I haven't been great on the timing, but yeah, we got there in the end. So I'm Red Walters. I'm a pro cyclist. I ride for XP United, and I'm racing all over Europe. And my dream is to make it the top level of the sport, to make it to World Tour, race the Tour de France, and I'm dedicating everything I can to be there.
Okay, so we're gonna start like this. Where are you from, firstly?
Well, I'm from Grenada. I'm dual nationality. I'm half Canadian. I'm half British. But I represent Grenada very proudly. So that's really cool, especially because in Europe, like, most people don't know where Grenada is or what Grenada is. So I'm like, teaching a lot of people, it's in the Caribbean. And I swear, half the people don't even know what the Caribbean is. So
yes,
I really have to do a whole geography lesson, But yeah, Grenada, beautiful island. Obviously, I would say the most beautiful island, but I'm sure the other Caribbeans might debate that.
Well, it is. I have to agree with you because Grenada is right next to St. Vincent, and you got the whole that whole chain of islands. So the Grenadines. So yeah, it's an amazing place. So I've been there, spent quite a bit of time. I lived in St. Vincent for a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm So people, we gotta let you know the national so Grenada is known for their spices, and like the nutmeg is the national spice. So Red Walters is here to make cycling spicy. You like that segue? But yeah, we're gonna get into this. What I want to know is like, how's your season going so far? Like, like how many races have you done? How's the season going so far?
Yeah, so far this year it basically hasn't started yet. It kind of has. We've had one race in the UK, so I live in the UK. We've had one small race in the UK, which is just great to test the legs, see how I am after winters of training. Because sometimes you get to this time of year and you're like, you don't really know. You're like, you look at the numbers and the numbers look good.
Yeah,
I should be pretty good, but you never really know until you pedal in anger, as it were.
okay.
So the first race under the belt, that's good. The sensations are pretty good, and then the first proper race will be at the start of March in Greece. We've got 2 stage races there, so that'll be really good. It's the first time meeting some new teammates, but yeah, no, really looking forward to that.
So, and when you go to Greece, what would the weather be like? Will it be a lot warmer then, or will it be still sort of like winterish?
Well, it's supposed to be warm, like 20 degrees, proper nice, but apparently every year this race is like cursed where it ends up raining, even though it never rains in Greece. So my fingers are properly crossed.
Okay. Yeah, you get enough rain in the UK, so it'd be nice to go somewhere and not have to worry with the rain. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So how did I saw the little clip up on Instagram. I might just drop it like so people could see like of the first race and stuff, and you sort of talked through it, like but like obviously it was an IG clip. But for you, what was it like for you? Like, how did it go? Apparently,
Yeah. So it's a funny one because that's been like the first race of the season for me for off and on for quite a few years, almost since I started racing. And I look back and when I was a junior, even a bit older, I'd go up and I'd just get destroyed every time. It was just a smash fest. So this year, I'm obviously a lot stronger. I've progressed a lot since then. And it's really weird to be on the front foot for once. So to sum it up quickly, the early breakaway went. I didn't think it would last the whole race. I was hopeful that, a small group would be able to catch up later on. So I ended up going clear with a few other guys, maybe halfway into the race. And we tried to bring them back, but we just couldn't quite get a good group working together well enough. So long story short, the break stayed away, and I ended up being the best of the rest, which was 6th place in the end. So, yeah.
Okay. So what was like? Who are your main competitors? Like when you go to a race and you line up and you're like what teams are you like saying like we got to keep an eye on?
yeah, so here in the UK, it's pretty much just St. Piran at the moment. They have like the biggest, strongest team. They do have like some really strong guys. And then when we race in Europe, it varies a lot. There's a few like really, really strong teams. Like there's one called ATT. Um, just off the top of my head, it varies so much to be honest. Like one week we'll be racing against one set of teams, and then the next week it'll be a completely different uh, set of teams, which is partly what makes it so hard because you don't know the riders, you don't know exactly who to watch. So I try and do my research, figure out who's like the really strong ones and who's the sprinter for this team, who's the sprinter for that team, and that kind of thing.
Okay, cool. So to my viewers and people who are watching, so I sort of saw his story and how he got started, and I'm gonna ask him just to just dive in. I thought that was pretty interesting the way you got into cycling, like talking about like you made a little deal with your dad. You want to elaborate on that story?
Yeah, yeah. So it was just coming up to my GCSEs. So if you don't live in the UK, that's like age 15, 16, I think.
Mm.
The exams you take before, I guess, like high school equivalent or college, what we call over here. And I didn't do any sport. I just played video games. That was like my main focus, my
Mm-hmm.
competitive outlet. And I wanted to start a sport. I'd always been like kind of sporty, but not into a sport. So I made a deal with my dad. I was like, if I get, I think it was half A's, I needed to get at least half A's, and he would buy me my first bike. And I decided, I want to do cycling, but I want a bike. So I ended up getting like exactly the right number of A's, and we bought a bike. And 2 weeks later, I did this race, and I went into it, and I'd done like 2 or 3 training rides, and I was like, okay, this guy's pretty strong. I think he's going to be the guy to watch, and then if I can beat him, I can win the race. It turned out he was like actually not very strong at all, and the other guys were way, way, way ahead. So I got lapped like 4 or 5 times.
Mm.
I was second last. I did terribly, but that's where like the addiction for the sport started. That's from there where I just fell in love with it. And the next year I came back, raced all year long, and then just yeah, love it.
You remember what the bike was?
Yeah. I remember all my bikes. I think it was a Ribble Gran Fondo.
Okay,
Um,
good bike.
it was, yeah, it was a really beautiful bike actually. To be fair to it, it had some nice lines.
Okay, cool, cool. So and then, so what was that? You said that was 2012. You said
So that was the end of 2015.
2015. So 2015. So we're coming up on is 2024. So it'll be 10 years. I'm sorry, I'm going to be all over the place, but I'm going to segue into something. You're from Grenada. The next Commonwealth Games is coming up. Have you done any Commonwealth Games?
Yeah. So I did in the year before last, 2022. I did the Commonwealth Games, which was like crazy experience. I'd never done anything like that. Um, and it's just it's like I've never been so proud. You know what I mean? To like it's the first time I've represented my country on like a big stage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's like just to let everyone see like, hey, this is Grenada, and show it off is pretty unreal.
So how did you do? How did you do? I mean, I know where the race was. Was it in Bournemouth? No, was it? Where is it to? It's up north.
Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah, it's
Yeah.
in Birmingham. And I have to, like the weather was flipping amazing. I just couldn't believe the weather. Like it was like somewhere. It just was amazing. But how did the race go for you?
Yeah, so it was overall pretty good. I think it maybe could have been better, but I was very happy with it nonetheless. I was
Yeah.
21st in the end. There was a breakaway. I think there was 19 guys up the road, so I was second in the bunch sprint for 21st. It was just a classic case of, you know, if I got in the breakaway, it could have been really good, but I
Yeah.
just about missed out. So it was sprinting for the minor places.
So how did you decide that you were a sprinter and not a climber or a time trialist? Because this is the UK. Everyone time trials. So how did you?
It's very much, it came to me naturally, where I never had good endurance. When I started cycling, I would do the club runs on the weekends, and after 40 miles or something, I'd be struggling, I'd be getting dropped every single week, like for
Mm-hmm.
years. Um, Climbing, we don't have many proper climbs in the UK, but also
Yes.
it just wasn't something that came naturally to me. But sprinting was always, I always say we've got the Grenadian power because my sister's also like really strong. Um, but yeah, it just is something that I was able to do quite well without a huge amount of training in the beginning. So
Okay.
I went with that, and it
Okay.
served me since. Yeah,
So, what are the big goals? Like, like I think of Olympics, I think of World Championships, but what are the big goals for you?
yeah. I mean, Olympics. That's a really big one. Sadly, I don't think I'll be able to go this year. Just the qualification is really difficult.
Mm,
Unless you've got like a lot of riders competing for one nation. But I always said if I don't have any tattoos, they're not normally for me. But if I ever got a tattoo, I would get one if I went to the Olympics of the
mm.
Olympic rings.
Okay.
But other than that, I well, sorry, I'd love to do the Tour de France. That's like a really big, obviously a big goal there. Um, World champs. I still haven't done a world champs yet, so I'd love to do that as well.
So the thing is, it's like I think I look at you and your riding style, and then I look at stuff like your sprinter. It makes sense because all the little hills here are mostly a power hill, so it's going to develop that type of rider. And then thinking of world championships, the courses tend to be more power based. You get, in between now and then you get like a climbing world championships, but most of them tend to be power based. So, like Matthew Vanderpool won the last one. Vinny was a favorite for the one before. So I can see all of that is to say I can see you at some point, being at the worlds and probably doing well. The points I know you have to acquire so many points to do the Olympics. Is it still the same way? Like getting UCI points, is it still the same thing?
Yeah, it's really hard actually. It's based not just on rider but on country, on nation rankings.
Mm-hmm.
So as Grenada, it's just me who's fortunate enough to be racing in Europe and getting UCI points. So it's essentially one person versus, to be, I think you have to be top 45. And even look at countries who are like 45th, it's some still pretty big countries, like South American countries like Venezuela, for example. I think they're around that benchmark and they've got, dozens of riders. Even if they're all not getting that many points, they've just got so many riders
Mm-hmm.
that it's almost impossible to catch up. And then the only other option is to get, I think, top two in the Pan American Championships. But I missed that last year. I couldn't get over to it. And then the final option is a wildcard spot, but there's no determined amount of wildcard spots, and they might not even exist. But that's what I'm hoping for this year. Just like keep my fingers really crossed that maybe if I'm really lucky,
Mm-hmm.
someone up there will just hand me a spot.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you do have a solid program towards the future and your goals, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this year we haven't got everything confirmed yet, but we've got a good like couple months now of confirmed races, and I think that's the main like pathway would be to do well in the races in Europe and then move on to the next level of team, whether that's Pro Continental or World Tour. Um, and then those teams are the really well funded teams where you can develop at that top level of racing.
Okay. So, and then do you have any planned races like for Belgium, Netherlands area?
Um, I'm not sure we have many this year. Last year we did a few. Um, Actually, the hardest race of the year was a Dutch race in the Netherlands. Um, that was like crosswinds as is typical over there.
Okay.
But no, it's great fun racing there. We did a few in Belgium as well, some pro commesses, which
Okay.
is always just really really hard racing.
I'm only asking because I'm going to situate myself. I was trying not to say, but I'm going to be situating myself there from March the 1st. So, because
Oh, cool.
yeah, I think I told you I'm going to Omloop and then I'll be at Kern, Brussels, Kern to get those races next weekend. But then I'm going to go back and I'm going to situate myself there so I can get the
Cool.
channel popping and make some things happen. And because and my like the whole thing, what I'm doing, like I know what cycling's like in the Caribbean because that's obviously where I'm from, and I need to, my goal is to make this profitable so I can go back and I can reach back to those kids that think they have what it takes and whatnot. So I say, okay, well let's find out. Here's a ticket. Come on over. So that's the whole goal of my channel. It's not just to become a YouTuber and become rich or whatever, and all of that stuff. So I come from a background like of just people who struggle to like really do cycling and stuff. So you go back home and you see what folks are riding and trying to prosper on, and it's not easy. It's tough. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always say like I'm so lucky to have the opportunity to race in Europe, and to the guys back in Grenada, I say, you're gonna have to work real hard,
Mm-hmm.
because it's tough, and it's probably even tougher with the less opportunities over there. But if they do work hard, then you can do what you put your mind to.
Yeah.
And like I'm the same as you. I would absolutely love to be in a position where I can start giving back, and like help riders out with opportunities. I sent a barrel of like kit to Grenada a couple of years ago, or last year, I think. So it's just nice to see, like, on Instagram and stuff. I'll see like, oh, so this guy's got this helmet that I sent. This guy's got this kit and shoes. So it's slowly growing. It's slowly growing. So it's nice to see.
So yeah, dude, you are super creative on the IG, right? Like,
Yeah.
I see your IGs. It's like you put some thought and some work into your IG. Here's the $1 million question. Someone comes along and said, Redstar, look, I think this is it for you. I got millions or billions, and I need you to be this guy on Instagram or whatever. Put the bike away. I mean, what do you think? There is a choice? Is there even a choice?
I would say, you know what, like, come back in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But currently, there's just no chance. My only focus, like, I've come to the conclusion that I don't think money would make me at this stage. Obviously, I might change as I get older, and say 3 years down the line it's not working out. Okay, whatever. But now there's only one thing that I want, and one thing that's gonna make me satisfied and fulfilled, and that's getting to the highest level of cycling, and finding the highest level that I can be and getting there.
So, folks, you see his thing, IG at the Redstar. You need to go on his IG. He is just as funny and entertaining as he is fast. Go check him out. I love the finish line salute. Was it the last race of the season that you won? The one that,
the one where I did that salute, it wasn't the last one. It was near the end of the season though.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Bulgaria. It was the old this one.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome to see. And dude, just personally, like, the sense of pride. I'm like, he's from the Caribbean, and just to see you, it was just pure goosebumps, man. Just like, I was like, God damn, that was so cool to see. And I'm pretty sure lots of people felt like that when they, were able to see like someone from the Caribbean just win a big race. And I just said, hats off, man. That was pretty sweet.
Oh, thanks, man. That's really nice to hear. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate it a lot.
Folks, that was Red Walters, the Redstar. Make sure you hit him up on IG. A lot of great stuff coming up, and I'm pretty sure he's somebody you need to keep your eye on and watch. And thank you for joining us. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to save the world one bike at a time. Peace. Sever your legs, media. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. We got lots of stuff coming up.